Hello, welcome to Surds. And now in this topic, we are going to be discussing the basic concepts, the rules of Surds, and how to solve questions on Surds. Now, Surd is one of the questions that is very popular in mathematics, and your understanding of Surds is going to help you in solving questions like indices and logarithm and several topics in mathematics. Now, the first thing we want to talk about are the rules of Surds. Okay? So, rules of Surds. Now, Surds have some basic rules. Now, the first one, rule 1, it's root P times Q. It's equal to what? Root P multiplied by root Q. Now, having to understand this basic principle will really help you in solving several questions. For instance, if you have root 12, this is the same thing as now recall that 12 is what? This is 2 times 6, or you could say 3 times 4. So this is what? 3 times 4. Now this is also the same thing as root 3 times root 4. Okay, so that's the first rule. Now the second rule, okay, that we are going to be establishing, it's root P over Q is the same thing as root P all divided by root Q. Okay, so if you have an example such as root 7 over 2, now this means root 7 all divided by root 2. Okay, so having established this fact of Surd, we are going to be solving some basic examples. So now, for instance, let's simplify root 18. Now, if you're given root 18, simplify it. Okay? So now, once you're about to simplify this is the same thing as now. Recall, 18 it's what? 18 it's what? That's 2 times 9. Now, from our basic rules of Surd, this is the same thing as root 2 times root 9. Now, when you have root 2 times root 9, this is the same thing as now root 2. This cannot give us a perfect number, so we'll put it down as root 2. Now, root 9 is the same thing as what? 3. So this means 3 root 2 as our final answer. Now, there's something you really need to understand in Surd. You need to understand the perfect squares. So you need to understand that root 4 it's going to give you 2, root 9 is going to give you 3, root 16 it's going to give you 4, root 25 is going to give you 5. At least you need to know all this down to 10. So you need to understand that if you are able to comfortably solve several questions on Surd. Now, another example we are going to be solving. Okay, so let's evaluate root 98. Okay, so now we have root 98. So now what is 98? Now what is the closest number that has to do with squares that you could use to get that's factors of 98? So I think here it's going to be what? That's 2 times 49. And you recall that 49 is what? So this is the same thing as root 2 times root 49. Okay, now this is the same thing as root 2 times 7, and my final answer is going to be what? 7 root 2. So this is my final answer. You sure? Okay, so if you have this question here, now in order to evaluate this question, we need to find it as a single, maybe represent it as evaluate this. You're going to represent it as a root b. It's going to be in this form. So in order to solve this kind of question, now we need to look for something that is common in all this sort, and you are going to get them as you keep doing your multiplication. Now this is 3 roots. Now 48 is another thing as 16 times 3, so let's keep that in mind. Now 75 is going to be 25 times 3. Okay, I can now see 3 is getting common, plus 2 is going to be what? 4 times 3. Okay, now notice 16 is a perfect square, 25 is a perfect square, and 4 is a perfect square. So one of the things you're going to be looking out for are numbers that have perfect square. Now, recall that this is going to be 3. So if I'm to evaluate it, root 16, it's what? 4. So this is going to be times 4 root 3. Now, if you're getting confused here, remember we said that root 16 is going to be what? So this is going to be 3 times root 16 times root 3. And root 16 is what? That is how I got my 4. So this is going to be minus, this will be 5 root 3, and here is going to be plus. Now, recall this is 2, root 4 is going to give me what? 2 times 2 root 3. So 3 times 4 is going to give me 12 root 3 minus, we have 5 root 3, and we have plus 2 times 2 is going to give me 4 root 3. Now, 12 root 3 minus 5 root 3 is going to give me 7 root 3 plus 4 root 3, and that's going to give me 11 root 3, and that's my final answer. So as easy as that, you can evaluate several questions on SURD. Now the last example we are going to be solving, it's root 45 multiplied by root 28. Okay, so this question says evaluate root 45 times root 28 in A root B format. Now, what do we do? Now here, you know that 45 is going to give us what? 9 times 5 times, now 28 is what? Now always notice I'm always looking out for the multiplications that will give me these numbers in perfect square. Now 28 is going to give me what? 4 times 7. Now root 9 is going to be what? This is 3 root 5. Okay, now this will be times, this is going to be what? 2 root 7. Now in this format, what else do I do? This is the same thing as 3 times root 5 times 2 times root 7. Now 3 times 2 is going to give me what? This will be 3 times 2 times root 5 times root 7. Now, if you recall from our SURD rules, we said root A times B is equal to root A times root B. So we can now move from this form down to this. So this is going to be 3 times 2 times, and we're going to have, this will be root 5 times 7. So this is going to be 3 times 2 will give me 6. 5 times 7 is going to give me 35. So now you can see this is in the form of A root B. So as easy as that, you can solve any maths question on SURD. And watch out for the next video that is coming up on this channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you can get more video updates from us.